In this video, we are going to cover what is cybersecurity, a complete overview, and today we are rocking with this amazing goggles. So let's go. What is cybersecurity? Well, the way that I see it as like when you access the internet, you need some sense of security, and that's when cybersecurity comes into the picture, where it's protecting your systems, the networks, and the data from the cyber attacks. And then it also ensures the safety and the integrity of your digital assets. And then it can also be based on your personal, your organizational, or national level. So organization is also like a company, so something like that. So why is cybersecurity important? Because it helps to prevent the identity theft on personal basis, and which ultimately leads to the financial ruins. And then in terms of national security, it helps to secure these infrastructures such as power grids and like water supply systems. And if there's an attack based on those systems, it can lead to like mass interruption or disruption. So that's the reason like these guardrails and some protocols need to be set in place. It also helps to protect your sensitive data and also organizational data. So it also, for example, it may include like all the hospitals and stuff like that. Then we have types of cybersecurity. First one is network security. This is like the fence around your device. So let's say if you're connected to the Wi-Fi, are you connected to the Wi-Fi securely? If not, then what are the steps that you take in order for you to like be securely connected to the internet? So network security comes into the picture with that. So firewall rules and stuff like that are based on it. Then is your information security. So anything related to the data, how you access it, who accesses it, where is it stored, and stuff like that is information security. Endpoint security is basically related to the endpoint device, meaning it can be your one individual device of mobile phone, a laptop, or a PC. Then your application security is the security based on the applications. For example, if you're using Instagram, what are the cybersecurity protocols based on them? Next is cloud security. Basically, any data or systems on the cloud environment are protected. Then is operational security, which basically focuses on all the processes and the policies to secure your data. Critical infrastructure security. These are like the systems or the infrastructures that need to be protected, like your power grids and the water supplies on the nationwide. Then is incident response. Incident response, I would term this as more like a first responder. So whenever there's a cybersecurity attack or an incident, the incident responder basically identifies these threats, and then they'll respond to it and mitigate the rest of the damage control. Then we have common cyber threats. One is the malware, the biggest of all. This is when we say like, oh, my computer has a virus in it, my phone has virus in it, stuff like that. So malware comes into the picture. Then is your phishing. It's like fake emails to steal sensitive data, and a classic example would be someone saying, hey, your package is not delivered, click on this link to change the delivery instructions or things like that. And then you click on the link and the virus is downloaded, or a keylogger is downloaded which steals your passwords and things like that. The possibilities are endless. Then is DDoS attacks. These basically overwhelm a site or wherever you host things or things like that. Whatever it is, it basically is gonna overload the system with the traffic. Then is your insider threats. These threats are like activities that are done by your trusted users. For instance, in a corporate world, a colleague of yours can leak sensitive information knowingly or unknowingly, copy paste it in any of the Gen AI applications, and those data may be sensitive. Then we have zero-day exploits. These exploits are basically something called as undiscovered vulnerabilities, meaning like when that application or a software is or a system is being built, they do not know yet the possibility of a vulnerability, and these things are the undiscovered vulnerabilities. So the developer didn't have enough time or did not get enough data on it to patch it, and that's when zero-day exploit comes into the picture. Then we have the classic CIA triad. This is like the foundation fundamentals of a cybersecurity. The C stands for confidentiality, which means only authorized users are allowed to access a certain data. Then we have integrity. I stands for integrity, which means it will maintain the accuracy of this data. So for instance, in a hospital, your medical records are supposed to be up to date or with the correct information, and they cannot be altered. If there is an altered information, that will not be useful with the patient's case, and it may lead to like cause of death or stuff like that because of the procedures that are being used. Then we have A, which stands for availability. Do you have enough backups to get your system up and running after an outage? That's when the availability of this comes in. All this together helps protect your data. So CIA triad. Then we move on to careers in cybersecurity. First, let us go through the technical roles. The first one is cyber analyst. This person will basically analyze all the threats or the vulnerabilities or any suspicion that they have of a security, and they will respond to these threats. Then we have penetration tester. They will try to stimulate, means virtually they'll create this attack to find some vulnerabilities so that they can patch these vulnerabilities before the hacker gets to know what they are. And then we have the incident responder. Like I said, whenever there's an incident or a breach or a cybersecurity attack, the first person to address this or like to try to identify these things is the incident responder. So they basically identify it, they respond to it, then they'll mitigate the things and they will try to recover from that cyber attack. Then we have malware analyst, who will basically study and prevent the malware threats. So they'll study the viruses and will always be up to date on it, and then they'll try to prevent those attacks by trying to find those solutions and things like that. Then we have security engineer, who will basically design and implement a secure system for you and your organization. Then we have managerial and specialized roles. The first one is Chief Information Security Officer, CISO. This person is basically the leader for the cybersecurity strategy and also maintains all of the teams under them. Then we have the security consultant, who will basically provide any best advices for the organization to practice. And then we have compliance analysts. They'll make sure that the organization is in compliance with all the regulatory standards. And for example, that could be like GDPR. Then we have forensics analysts, who will basically investigate and analyze cyber crimes and collect the evidence and then submit that for any of the court proceedings. Then we have cryptographers, who basically will secure your encryption modes, and so that can be like multi-factor authentication and things like that. Then we have trends and salaries in cybersecurity. Zero trust architecture, meaning this will like never trust, always verify approach. And then we have AI and machine learning. Since AI is so much in right now, we do not necessarily have the cybersecurity protocol set in place, let alone the standard being developed yet for what this protocol would be for AI at this point. Then we have quantum resistance encryption. Quantum by itself is such a complex constraint, and with that there are some approaches already in place, that these are some protocols that we could take or enforce once this quantum computing is used in such a way that none of the data loss is happening, nor there's any chance of hacking the system. Then we have cybersecurity mesh, meaning cross-platform integration connections. Then we have focus on data privacy, same like strengthening compliance with regulations like GDPR, but this privacy changes from either nation to nation, continent to continent, and organization to organization as well. Then cybersecurity job growth. Annually, there's always an almost a trend of increase of 30% jobs, meaning the cybersecurity trend has been going up constantly and exponentially. Then we have 3.5 million unfilled jobs as of the date, and it always keeps increasing. And the salaries range from 70K to 300K depending on the role, and then this is just for the entry level, so when it goes from there it's like way more, but it comes with the fact that you need to take the responsibility. So in software development there are peers who review your things. In cybersecurity there may be peers who would approve your things, but whatever decision that you take is basically the risk that you are taking on the job, which also could lead to like potential suing in case something goes haywire. Then, how to get started in cybersecurity? One, learn the basics. What is a cybersecurity? What are the systems? What are the kind of cyber attacks? And see what are you interested in. And then from there, get a certification. These are the basic certifications: CompTIA Security Plus, and then CEH, and CISSP is a huge big one. So if you want to be a CISO, like the Chief Information Officer, then you can do the the CISSP. And this certification also has a prerequisite of like 5 years experience in a certain domain, and so it gets into like nitty-gritty of it. So I would recommend go for like CompTIA Security Plus, and you can go to CH portal to check for any of the latest ones, and ISC2 standard. So all these things, so ISC2 is like a portal, like an organization for cybersecurity, where they provide the courses but also maintain your certification. Then gain some experience, do some virtual labs, there are internships, and there's like some game kind of stuff called hack the box, things like that, so you can learn a lot of things and see where you're interested in. From there you can try to do some volunteer work and get some internships and like build up from there. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more tech insights, and let me know what you want to learn next, and then I'm gonna make a video on it. And if you guys have any other further questions, leave them in the comments and I'm gonna answer as soon as possible. I'll see you in the next one.